LoreWarrior Armour, the Musketeer Hover Tank. Overview. Shortly before the outbreak of the Civil War, Federated Sons engineers developed the rotary autocannon. It was designed to deliver directed, concentrated damage faster than possible with standard or ultra-autocannon systems. With the Federated Sons' attachment to autocannon weaponry, the rotary autocannon became a proverbial overnight sensation. Manufacturers throughout the Sons raced to develop their own vehicle and mech lines in order to take advantage of this groundswell with new rack-based designs. Korean enterprises of New Avalon landed their contract for the Musketeer in 3065. Capabilities. As a dedicated rotary autocannon sniper tank, the Musketeer's main objectives are to quickly deliver the devastating fire of the rack to the field, to maintain a continuous rate of fire if need be, and to do so at a minimum of cost to the people of the Federated Sons. On all of these selling points, the Musketeer delivers. Powered by an economical 140 rated GM internal combustion engine, the Musketeer can attain a max speed of almost 115 kph and boast an average cruise range of almost 1500 kilometers on nearly any form of combustible fuel. A single, turret-mounted Midron Tornado rotary AC gives the Musketeer its powerful punch. Fed by a 3-ton magazine that allows the weapon system over a minute's worth of sustained fire at its maximum rate, and in addition to this, the Musketeer mounts a pair of ammo-efficient Holly Mark II Streak SRM dual tubes for close-in fire support. A forward-fixed tag system allows the vehicle's crew to call in fire from friendly artillery if necessary. Concerned also with safety, Korean enterprises fitted the vehicle with 7 tons of ferrofibrous armour, thick enough to weather a hit from the heaviest standard AC. As an added precaution, a modified case system protects the crew from the catastrophic detonation of either the Musketeer's ammo or fuel tanks. Deployment. Having played a role in the final battle on New Avalon on both sides, the vehicle is in great demand, with dozens of units throughout the AWFS anxious to get their hands on a Musketeer. Musketeers are already showing up in the militia units on border worlds with the Draconis Combine and Compelling Confederation, and all of these units have been purchased through the AWFS, which has an exclusive 5-year contract on the entire Musketeer production run. Estimates indicate that by the time the contract is up, Korean will have manufactured more than 4 regiments worth of these vehicles. Variants. A variant using the lighter Rack 2 system in place of the Rack 5 is on the drawing board at Korean enterprises. This variant divides the tonnage saved between the ammunition for the autocannon and additional armor plating, offering a tougher, farther-reaching version of the standard model at the cost of some hitting power. So we have basically the revolver on a tank chassis. It's a 50-ton hover vehicle. Power plant is a GM 115 ICE. Its cruise speed is 76, with its flank speed being 119 kph. Its armor is Starguard Civ ferrofibrous with case. Its armament is a Midron Tornado rotary AC5 with 2 Holly Mark II Streak 2 SRM2 packs. Its manufacturer is Korean Enterprises on New Avalon, and its communication system is the Korean Transband J9. Targeting and tracking is the Korean BTEC with tag. Stats-wise, this translates into a vehicle that can cruise 7 and flank 11, which is relatively slow for a hover vehicle, but, it's got some decent firepower to it. Armour-wise, it has 37 on the front, with 27 on the sides, 18 on the rear, and 26 on the turret. The Rack 5 is obviously located in the turret there at the top, with 60 rounds of fire in the body. 2 Streak SRM2s also located in the turret. You can just see one of them at the back there, angled up, with the ammo of that being located in the body of the vehicle. Tag is located at the front, and its case is obviously located around the ammunition bins and fuel. Not a bad-looking vehicle. I suppose the idea of the rack looking like a big revolver is kind of fun at the same time. I like the fact that there's a big ammo clip on the top as well. You can see the banana magazine there. That would obviously, feed rounds down into it. It's an interesting visual. The idea of a little hover vehicle that's basically got like the equivalent of a Magnum on the top, just thumping rounds out there. Not too bad. It's kind of cool. It's growing on me, actually. Obviously, rotary ACs are a thing that don't get used too often. Obviously, it's not a weapon system that you can just lump in any earlier stage in the timeline, and thus you have some limited uses for some of this later technology, especially with official builds. Custom builds, I know there's a lot of people out there who will sort of come up with their own mech designs, and rotaries can play a part, of course. But by default, yeah, you don't see racks that often until you get into the much later TROs. This was basically 3067's TRO was the introduction of some of this technology, and obviously mostly, almost entirely being seen on the Federated Sun side of things. I can't remember quite how it worked out. The Curetans were the ones who had like the heavy and the light PPCs, and the heavy Gauss and the Ultra 20s, and that were more Lyran design. The Capellans were the ones who made like, things like plasma rifles and stuff like that, I think. And then, yeah, the Mareks were the ones who did some of the new, like, the light Gauss rifles and gear. I think they also made the Silver Bullet one, which is like an LB version of a Gauss. But yeah, it was kind of all spread around, so like rotaries were the big thing for, obviously, the Federated Sun, so yeah. So, of course, they have a tank that's got a big pistol on the top. It's not bad. It's obviously not too deadly that it could ruin a player's day if you were running it in a scenario, but it's got enough of a threat there, especially the idea of just a couple of these things roaming around alongside other enemies, so it does make them slightly dangerous. Obviously, there are rules for it jamming, if the longer it fires, that kind of thing. You still got to make the rolls, same as you do with Ultras, where you have to make sure that that you run the risk every time you roll, basically, but there's the potential of doing extra damage, so that risk-reward factor is always there. A cool little thing, again, for players to also obtain if they wanted to have some fire support in the form of a couple of nifty little hover vehicles with those kind of weapon systems. 60 rounds of ammo, it's not too bad. It can keep it in the fight for a decent number of turns before it has to leave, because you definitely don't want it floating around just trying to fire streaks. But it's armoured relatively well. 36 and 27 is not too bad. 26 on the turret as well, so it can take a few hits before you have to worry about going internal as well. So yeah, overall, pretty decent. Visually, it's a bit silly, but I kind of like it at the same time. It's not the worst out there by far. There are worse in this book. For visuals, trust me. But yeah, that's the Musketeer. So thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good week, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.